Welcome to the Printer's Edge with Rock Lamanna, a podcast about how to sell, buy, or build a printing business. Now here are your hosts, Rock Lamanna and Ken Okel.
Welcome to the Printer's Edge podcast presented by the Lamanna Alliance. Hi, I'm Ken Okel. So nice to have you with us again. Reminder, you'll never miss an episode if you subscribe on iTunes. And remember, we also are putting our episodes on YouTube, on Rock Lamanna's YouTube channel, because we know some of you like to listen to them there. Joining me, as always, Mr. Rock Lamanna. Rock, how you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, Ken.
Rock, recently I was flipping through the most recent issue of Label and Narrow Web magazine, and I got your column, The Bottom Line, and I noticed a really good article you guys did about Channeled Resources. It's a family business like a lot of printing companies nowadays, and I think they're facing some interesting challenges and opportunities, and I thought, hey, let's dive a little deeper into this article because I think there's a lot to consider there.
You bet, Ken. I actually followed up with Cindy White, the president and CEO of Channel Resources. I first was introduced to Cindy and her father, Kelvin Frost, back in the 80s while I was at Vomella Specialty Company. And we had a need for some seconds release liner for the RV industry because we were heavy into the RV industry with roll striping. And we also had a connection with 3M Company, so we kind of put the deal together and had a nice chat back in the mid-'80s. Well, since then, a lot has happened, not only with Vomella and myself, but also with Cindy and her family. So I was very intrigued by all the changes that have happened over the last 20, 25 years.
Rock, you and Cindy share something in common in that you're the second generation in a printing business, and I know sometimes that can create some challenges or just situations where you're having to adjust how you do business.
Excellent question. I was questioning Cindy about her father's style. And in relationship to that, my father's relationship with me and second generation and his style. And it was very interesting because Cindy's father was a visionary, a lot of ideas, and basically took the company without the plan and the discipline because of the industries that they were in. They're trying to create markets. Well, we were in a different field. We happened to be 6 miles away from 3M Company in St. Paul, Minnesota. Very innovative, and basically we had the opportunity to work with 3M hand in hand as a strategic partner back in those days. So our vision was completely different. The sales and marketing was already presented to us, where our background was more process, quality, innovation, speed to market, because 3M, besides the innovation background and brand that they've had over the years, they were really a marketer, and they marketed, and that was a completely different ballgame compared to the challenges that Channel Resources had.
So what were some of the challenges that they were facing then?
Well, they had to change, and very quickly, because being in the what we call the seconds industry is very competitive. They had to buy right, sell right, deliver right, and also collect right. Where in our world, it was constant growth for, I would say, close to 30 years. 30 years, we were in a constant growth plan, and so we had to constantly keep up with people, talent. With 3M strategy, our people were contracted to execute. With the profitability of our company, we had the cash to go out and get the technology and get the people. Basically, that was the creative aspect of it, where Cindy, their family, in a way, had to do it all alone. And that's a completely different ballgame. So they relied on the family to make that happen. They relied on their own cash. They relied on their own creativity to make this all happen, where we had, a global organization hand feeding us the opportunity. So that is a huge advantage in our part.
I've never been in business with my parents, but I could see it could be challenging if you have one generation has been doing things a certain way, and then it's almost the duty of the next generation to sometimes question how things are done or why they're done, simply because opportunities may have changed.
Well, Ken, I'm one of 11 children, and there was huge changes. Plus, I'm in the middle. I'm number 5 of the 11. There were 9 of us in the business alone. That had to be very hard for my father to decide timing, capability, commitment, which is a big thing in a family business, and continuous growth. And one thing that I noticed between my father and I over 30 years that he was in the business, growing the business, he was asked to be the innovator, where business changed in the 80s for us tremendously. And 3M more or less wanted us to become more independent, where they wanted us to handle the marketing and the sales of their businesses that they wanted to divest from because they weren't as profitable as what they wanted or as large of an opportunity. So they saw that their business was not the $100, $200 million targets that they were looking for global, where they said, you know what, this is no longer ours, but we don't want to walk away from it. So let's have Vomella and the Lamannas take care of things. That's when my world changed. My world got to the point where I needed to travel, start meeting people, developing relationships, where my father said, enough is enough. I liked working, 12, 16-hour days, 3 shifts, 350 employees. I'm tired. Rock, I'm going to Florida. In the meantime, we went down to 32 employees with 3M's shift. And we had to restart. And it's a long story with technology. However, 3M mentored us to the point where we became postured within these clients, because these were all clients of 3M's. They passed them on to us. And with that, we had to make sure we serviced them. We used 3M products, and we basically eliminated the 3M interface, where it was directly through us, which is at the time Vomella Specialty and my family. And you know what? It all worked out, because now Vomella especially is a $300 million company, and strategically that was all set up in the early 1980s with our family. So I'm very proud of that. Well, I have one more, Ken, that I think was very important in talking to Cindy, and that was the exit plan, the transitional plan, because I experienced that. In 1988, it took us from 1985, the concept and the strategy to start exiting the family business to the next generation, till the close in 1990. So that was 5 years. And we brought in an outside family consultant that helped us with the family transition. So I asked Cindy, what is happening with their transition? And they're still talking about it. Kelvin, their father, is still in the business. They have 3 children, 3 girls that are all part of the transition positioning, and they're still in the thought process, what their plan is, whether to expand the business, whether to look at a slow transition. They're looking towards their father on what his wishes are. So it's all very interesting how my family experienced the transition, which was to sell. And I bought the business with an angel, a partner at the time. And eventually I sold over after 17 years, the business. So it's very interesting talking to family businesses, especially in printing, and about their near-term plans and also their exit plans. So I just wanted to comment on that.
I'll put the link to the article in the show notes for this podcast, so you can go to the link that will take you to the Label and Narrow Web article. Rock, as always, you are out in the marketplace, and we've got some big events coming up where the Lamanna Alliance will have a presence. So let's talk about those a little bit.
Yes, sir. First of all, I just returned from Print 17.
How was that?
Very successful. better than I expected. And then I returned right at the same time, Irma, the hurricane.
Yes, we felt that one.
I was very fortunate that my family and so on, everything worked out. Now I'm planning, my contacts and my associates will be attending Label Expo. Steve Katz, of course, from LNNW will be there, walking the show, meeting some of my
and this is
contacts.
In Brussels, I believe. Yes.
Yes, it is. So that, and then we got PAC Expo in Vegas. Once again, I'll be setting up opportunities for meetings with people. And then soon after that, first week in October is the SGIA, which I'll be there for a couple days, setting up appointments and meeting with people. And that's all in between meeting with other clients in Florida, Connecticut, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So I'm extremely busy in the next 4 weeks. So believe me, if the best way to get a hold of me, of course, is email, LinkedIn, my text, all that information is out there. So please do not hesitate. I'm a 24/7 guy.
It feels like 27 hours a day.
Yeah, believe me. But a lot of activity going on. And you know, it's a tremendous awareness having the economic outlook presented to us at Executive Outlook at Print 17, because the next few years are going to be gangbusters, and 2020 are going to be even better. So the print industry is hot right now. Baby boomers, this is a great time to start looking at transitions. Private equity is all over me, contacting me for introductions and opportunities. And believe me, this is I'm looking forward to the next 10 years.
So the best way for people to reach you really is to start at your website, rocklamanna.com.
rocklamanna.com website. You could contact me through LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I got the podcast. What else can we talk about?
The YouTube channel, the LinkedIn updates, we're all over the place.
All over the place, and it's very exciting because there's a little piece of social media that everyone is touching upon today, and next year is going to be even greater with the investment of social media, the marketing content that we'll be providing.
Big year ahead. If you'd like to find out more about me, name's Ken Okel. I'm a professional speaker who helps organizations become more productive. Go to my website, kenokel.com, KENOKEL.com. I also do another podcast. It's called The 2-Minute Takeaway. Slightly shorter, not always 2 minutes, but not much longer. Little bite-sized chunk of information. And some people like to read my book, which is called Stuck on Yellow, 26 productivity tips you can use right away. You can find it on Amazon. So, Rock, as we wrap up this one, I think as we always say,
see you in the marketplace.
This is the Prince's Edge with Rock Lamanna. Thanks for listening.